And it's on.
Today, we are going to be doing a supercharged collaboration with my friend Matt here. We're going to be sharing with you 5 maybe little known yoga YouTube channels that we think you should be checking out this winter. So hi, I'm Melissa from Yoga with Melissa, and here on this channel, I put out a video every single Wednesday. We like to keep them shorter. We kind of answer your questions. And over on my main channel, I release a longer full-length yoga video every single Friday. So we would love it if you would subscribe here, like this video, and comment on it. And we really thank all of you who come back every week and do that, like and subscribe and comment. It makes a huge difference to us and helps other people just like you find us. And today I'm here with my friend and guest and fellow Canadian from across the country, Matt. So Matt, why don't you tell people here a little bit about you and your channel so they know who you are?
Yes. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Melissa, this is a great collaboration we're doing together. And thanks for everybody for welcoming me as a guest on your wonderful yoga lifestyle channel. So I have my yoga channel called Yin Yoga with Matt on YouTube. And the way that came to life is that I discovered Yin Yoga in 2019 after my dad committed suicide and I fell into depression. And it was a really dark depression. So I wasn't going down the right path at all. And I started watching yoga videos on YouTube, and Melissa West was one of top ones that came up among others. And I instantly fell in love with Yin Yoga. And in a way, that's what saved me. So that's why I'm drawn to that specific practice. And throughout my recovery, I was pulled off work. So what I did is I started a 200 hours Yin Yoga teacher's course. I fell in love with the practice so much. I said, why not become an instructor? And eventually in May 2020, I started my Yin Yoga channel, Yin Yoga with Matt. And my channel really is for anybody and everybody. You don't need to be a pro. You don't need to be able to do the splits or anything fancy. Yin Yoga is really awesome. So if you get into it, then join me on this journey of self-exploration, healing, holding space, peace, and quietness. You will probably discover for yourself what I found for myself through the practice. So you can join me weekly on the mat. I release videos every week. It's part of my well-being routine, so I do it for myself as well. And whoever wants to join me are more than welcome to do so. So that's a little bit about me. So thank you so much, Melissa. So right back to you.
Okay. How many videos do you release a week, by the way?
It depends on my schedule. So I work shift work, right? So if I'm a little less busy, I might pump 3, 4, 5 videos sometimes a little less. So it depends.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I'm not able to have a steady schedule because this is more of a sideline at the moment.
Yeah. It's great. You do a lot though. Okay. So what I wanted to share with you is what our criteria were for the channels that we're going to share today, because we want to give some exposure to some quote smaller channels. And by smaller channels, I think all of our channels this week are under 10,000 subscribers.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So our criteria was that they need to have good sound, because it's really hard when you're doing a yoga video and you have to like crank up your sound. So you're trying to hear, especially when you're doing yoga, you want to, I hate straining to hear. Good lighting. I'm a sucker for good quality of sound, lighting, good picture quality. Mm-hmm. A regular release schedule, because we don't want to share a channel with you that all of a sudden they kind of drop off the face of the earth. Like, we want them to kind of be there for you. Yes. And we love a teacher that is grounded, heart-centered, and authentic in in our opinion, I guess, is genuine in their offerings. So those were our criteria, basically, something that was kind of turning that were speaking to us in that way.
Definitely. Yeah. So I'm going to start off with the first channel I want to bring up to your audience. It's Timberlake Yoga. It's a channel on mostly Yin Yoga, and it's by Brittney Timberlake. So she's one truly amazing woman. She started doing yoga when she was about 20 years old. And if you jump on her channel, you'll see that her soft-spoken voice and calm energy can suit you right away, and you have a really immersive Yin Yoga experience. So I really like that about her. The class I did was a 1-hour Yin Yoga with a bolster I do many classes, but for this channel, we're going to talk about this one. It was one to ease into the new year. So it was a really great class. She has a great balance between instruction, and quietness. And that class, specifically her theme was to give yourself permission to let go of striving and goal making for the next hour. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of people, when they start the new year, they're really focused on goals. But that class was the total opposite. Allow yourself to focus on no goals at all and just be in the moment. So I thought that was really great. I personally spoke with her. I did a collaboration with her, and she's really a wonderful, genuine soul. So whatever you see on her channel, that's her. It's not a front. She's authentic. So that was one of her criteria, yes. And I love the use of the bolster throughout the whole class. And she gives a lot of variations on how to use props. So it's really great if you don't exactly know how to do certain things. She'll guide you through it and give you other options. And they're all quiet classes, so there's no music. So that's great if you like that. But as well, she made her own Spotify playlist called Yin Vibes, which is great. I don't even know how she did that, but that Spotify playlist is one of the most relaxing playlists I ever listened to, and I use it quite frequently now for anything in my day-to-day life. So good job, Brittney. Keep up the good work.
That's awesome. Can you give me that playlist so I can put it in the show notes?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's called Yin Vibes by Brittney Timberlake on Spotify.
So we'll put it in the show notes for this. That's something where, I start to feel old because I'm a Gen Z. I'm Gen X. And it's like, this is where I love hanging out with millennials because they're doing stuff like this. And I'm like, I'm just not on that Spotify train yet. Yeah. So that's awesome. But I know the playlist thing is great because you can put no music in your videos, which is what I do. But then if you have these Spotify playlists that you can recommend, it's so great because people can do them. So that's great.
Yeah, I follow her classes with her playlist. And it's quite amazing. It really fits exactly with what she does. So
that's awesome. And I'm curious about that a little bit more. Does she have individual playlists for each class or one that works well for any class?
So it's only that she offers this playlist. Otherwise, they're all in silence.
Love it.
As you might know too on YouTube, you got to buy every single music you put on there unless you find it for free in the library. So it can become quite costly. And since we're offering, this for free, mainly for people to watch, like there's no cost to watch our classes, I believe that's a good way to go about it.
I agree too, 100%. Okay, so my first class is on your channel. I did your 40-minute winter recharge Yin Yoga, which I loved. I believe you filmed it on Christmas Day.
I did.
Which I was like, wow, that's dedication. I also love that you took time on Christmas Day to do it.
Thanks.
I really love, what I love about your teaching is that a number of things. I feel like you're right there with us. It feels really personable. You acknowledged us that, that this has been a tough year, which it has been with COVID and just a collective consciousness shifting and changing and so many structures being dismantled. It's been a really tough year, and taking time for the yin classes is just such a great way to settle our nervous systems through all these changes. You used a block and a bolster, which I'm a huge fan of props, just so people know that you do use props. I love the sequencing of the poses. Some great poses for recharging, some of my favorite yin poses, including banana asana. I will put a note in there that you did throw frog pose in there, which, I was like, oh, this is going great until we came to frog pose, which you seem to love, but I was like, oh, yuck. I loved your use of the non-traditional version of Sphinx pose with the legs wide. And then even because you sequenced it so well, I loved the way we raised our legs up after that in the Sphinx pose. It was just the building of it to the legs raised that worked really well for me in a way that I hadn't experienced before. The toes touching with the heels up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I found that really opened up some energy for me in my lower dantian. It created this energy flow I hadn't experienced there. You really offer a great balance of instruction and holding space. And I appreciate that about you. I think that that's an often overlooked quality of a teacher, is their ability to hold space. So, and at the end of the class, I did feel recharged. So that was really great.
Goal accomplished.
Goal accomplished. Yeah.
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 And what do you think of, in your experience, about the Yin Yoga poses? You know, there's quite a few. I mean, there's about 30 real Yin Yoga poses, but they have so many variations that you can do within each poses, and they all bring something different to you. So when I do my classes, I try to change the angles and try different things to provide variety and to explore those asanas. So what's your take on that?
I like variety, but I think it has to be used for the right reason. I always think back to my very first teacher training where
Mhm.
the teacher who was leading it said to me, be careful about your desire to entertain your students.
Yeah. And I think that's
Yeah.
a good, valuable
Good,
point right there
valuable, yeah,
for all the
point.
teachers out there as well. So for whoever.
Yeah, I think sometimes we can get caught up in trying to give
Too
our students
innovative.
tons of bells and whistles. And
Yeah.
one of the things I'm really focusing on right now as a teacher is repetition and bringing things back and going, like just going deeper and deeper, because I think that we can present something and then we present something else and we present something else and we kind of add to the information overwhelm
Yeah.
rather than allowing people to deepen the existing practice.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's a good point. It's a little bit like muscle building at the gym or any workout regimen. You'll jump on your bike all the time. You'll do different
It's repetitive.
Yeah, it's repetitive. And if that's part of what you need to do to grow into your practice. So, there's just so much variety you can bring. But yeah, you have to bring back those poses all the time.
Yeah. So I think it's a balance.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we'll jump to number 3 of our channels, Yin Yoga Garage. And this is great. I discovered that through you, Melissa. You suggested me, so
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And his name is Vince. He's from the Philippines. And what he did is he turned his garage into a yoga studio. So that's kind of great. And I believe they're in lockdown too, right there with the COVID and everything. So he does a lot of classes. And he's very knowledgeable. He gives you a lot of guidance and information throughout the classes, which is really great. I love that. And he has a great use of props and sequencing of the asanas. And what I like about Vince is he has this calm, soothing energy, and he seems quite happy. He always looks like he's enjoying himself so much into what he does. So that drawn me to him immediately. The moment I opened his video, I was like, wow. He's like, hi, I'm Vince. And it's like,
he has this sing-song
so cute
voice.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
His energy field is just so joyful to be in.
Exactly. So it's a great channel full of quality videos. If you like Yin Yoga specifically, there's a lot of classes there for you to follow. I would say that it's not for everyone because there's very little silence. It doesn't take away from the
whole time.
Exactly. So it doesn't take away from what he does. And it's really great, especially if you're a beginner and you need a lot of guidance. You need a lot of tips, tricks on how to do everything. It's great. If you want a little bit more silence and peace, that might be a little less for you, but I would suggest give it a try and just roll with it and see what it does for you. This class that I did from him had a lot of twist and hip work, so that felt really good. I really enjoyed it. And the name of the class was Forgiveness, Mindfulness, Yin Yoga Practice. So check him out, Yin Yoga Garage.
Yeah. I think he's like very Dharma focused. So if you like receiving a Dharma talk while you're doing your Yin class, like he's for you. Yeah.
And I believe that's what's great about different teachers is they have different styles, right? So you can navigate different classes. Today you feel like, going for that, go for it. Another day you want quietness, go for another teacher.
Yeah, it's great having different teachers. Totally.
Exactly.
I was curious what you'd think of him. Okay, so my next one is Nourished Natasha. And so this is why I'm loving this is because now we're going to jump to something totally different. I love her total witchy tarot vibe. She puts out videos on the new moon, the full moon, and equinoxes, and she kind of brings tarot and just this whole witchy astrology energy to her classes. And I just feel like I'm having so much fun in her classes.
Awesome.
So I think I don't know. I'm sure there are other people doing it, but for some reason, I found her. I did the class that I covered for hers was a special winter solstice plus the great conjunction class. So you remember the winter solstice, there was this great conjunction thing happening in astrology. So she
Exactly.
covered that. She did it for grounding energy. And she did twists to release the darkness, to release the past year and usher in the new journey. And she spoke about the hero's journey. So what I love is it's very highly themed, which I'm a big fan of. And she's focused on 3 mantras throughout the class. And there were a lot of twists and side bends. And our peak pose was half moon balancing pose, half moon balancing twist pose. So her style is definitely yoga flow. So it's not a yin channel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to be wanting a more active practice.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, I'm guessing for people who are more into flow, it's probably on the quieter side of flow. But if you're coming from a yin space, it's definitely flow, just so you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for that.
So before we go for our last one,
Yes.
I want to thank everybody so much for liking this video, for subscribing to my channel, for subscribing to all the channels that we recommend, and to Matt's channel. And also I'm excited to check out these channels in the comments, and also share this with other people, because we really love giving exposure to smaller channels. As you know, there's something in the YouTube land called the algorithm, and we feel it tends to favor bigger channels. And so this is our way to give back, to offer some reciprocity and generosity. This is something that we can do when we share these smaller channels. And it's something that Matt and I are passionate about. So that's something that we can do. And when you press the like button, the subscribe button, and you share and you comment, that's a way that you can enter into that generous and reciprocity. Okay, Matt, number 5.
All right. Well, this one is another channel you suggested to me that I really enjoyed. Her name is Laura Gollner. I'm French, so I don't know if I say that the right way. Gollner, from the Yoga Focus Method. So I tried one of her class called Yoga Anatomy, and it was the language of movement practice, part 2. I did the part 2, but there's a part 1 out there. I really enjoyed her in the fact that she's very knowledgeable about the anatomy of the body. So she will explain everything in detail, the mechanics of how everything works, your muscle, your tissues, ligaments, tendons, name it. She goes in depth. And a lot of time we focus on like the spiritual mindfulness part of yoga. But the physical part, I've never done a class that was so much in details, explaining me what I'm doing, why I'm doing, and how it's translating into what I feel in my body. So she is quite awesome. And it's a great addition to any yoga practice you're currently doing, just so that you gain that better understanding. I think anybody would benefit from that, from the physical point of view. So this class, like I said, was named the language of movement. And throughout doing the asanas, that's exactly what Laura was doing and how I felt. She was really explaining everything, put in an in-depth language to what I was doing. And I fell in love with her teaching. It's really awesome. And I believe you did some work with her as well, right? You did a course with her.
Yeah, I'm currently taking a course with her. She's an occupational therapist. So she has university training in anatomy. And she works as an occupational therapist every day, full time. So yes, I'm currently taking an anatomy course with her, and she brings that, full on to teaching yoga teachers anatomy and her teaching. So she's incredibly knowledgeable.
Yes, exactly. And you have to give herself a chance. Like I said, she will explain a lot. She talks a lot about everything she's doing, but you'll quickly understand why, and you'll find that you will fall in love and appreciate all of it. So
yeah, they're more like masterclass style classes. Like,
yes, definitely. Totally agree with you. So this is our top 5 channels that we had to suggest for you guys.
Yeah, to check out this winter. And, if you have other channels that you want us to check out that we might not know about because they're smaller, because, YouTube generally only puts us in front of certain ones, let us know. And if you're a smaller channel and you want us to check you out, let us know in the comments as well. And if you like this, then you're probably going to like a video I did back in 2019 when I did top 10 yin channels, and you can check it out here on the screen and in the comments down below. So thanks so much, Matt. It was great doing this with you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to our next one. This is a great collaboration. So thanks for joining your forces with me and helping us spread the word out there to all your audience. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. So fun.
Bye-bye. Until next time.